Dun, 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 dun.
Hold the door.
For the watch. For the watch.
Um, um, gang.
What's up, gang?
Uh, dang, what else do we say?
Well, this is Flick Filter.
Right. Okay. Welcome to another honest review, Flick Filter.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
What are we doing today?
The Accountant 2.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
So, question for you. Because I know it's been some years. I think the first movie came out in like 2018. We're now in 2025. So, 7 years. That's some good little time in between. So, I want to know, because kind of start off, just gonna shoot with it from the beginning. You feel like this one is as good or better than the first?
Do you remember the first?
I do, and I don't know why you're asking that. I mean, I do know why you're asking.
Yeah.
But I did watch it more recently than you did.
Yes, because
But we watched a lot of things, and I will say
this: The Accountant was a very underrated film, and while I was going to watch it, I didn't realize it was going to be as good as it was. At least in my opinion. But I know it's a very underwhelming film. It's not like
underwhelming.
Yeah, well,
Underrated or
underwhelming. Well, maybe under. My point is, it doesn't have a lot of action as most people like.
Got you. Okay.
So it doesn't really. It's not one of those films that you go like a lot of people will go out and see again and again because it's just not that action packed. It's very more psychological. There is some action scenes, but for the most part, it's very methodical.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like accountant jargon. I mean, there's not really much accounting. There is to an extent, but that's more so used as a plot device to kind of progress the story forward.
Yeah, it's the same way where Jason Statham was a beekeeper. You know.
Yeah.
It's a nickname that they use.
Yeah.
To cover up what he actually does.
Which is he's a he be for he be
He's a hitman. Why is that hard for you to say?
I couldn't think of the word. I couldn't think of I could not think of the word at the time. Hitman. That's a good one.
Yeah.
They should make a movie called Hitman.
They did.
Oh yeah, they did. Interesting. Crazy. Yeah. But yeah.
Say that a little louder.
We are
for the ones in the back.
We are in the middle of reviewing Accountant 2. Yes, the new film.
So basically, The Accountant 2. Now, what's crazy about this one is it stars Jason Statham.
No.
I mean, my bad. I was thinking Beekeeper.
Yep.
It stars Batfleck. Ben Affleck. And Punisher, Frank Castle.
Yeah.
John Bartha.
Imagine them two characters being in a thing together.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But anywho, in all seriousness, I didn't remember him from the first one.
Yes.
John Bartha. So
yeah.
So be like, oh yeah. So I was like looking at the trailer. I was like, oh, that's a big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Not to know it's part of the first one. So.
Yeah. So we did talk about that. I watched the first one. Well, I didn't see the first one until this year, like right before.
After I suggested you.
Yeah. And the thing was, I thought I did see it, or at least I thought I saw part of it, and I was like, yeah, this is a lot different than I thought of this movie in my head, or at least from the clips that I saw. Very different movie. but what I told you is that like uh, basically, and spoilers for the first one. I guess if you're watching this, I'm gonna assume you saw the first one, but
Hope so.
I would hope. But
You
these,
would think so.
you would think, like Christian King, that's his name,
Wolf.
Wolf, Christian Wolf. He's so his character and John Bernthal's character Braxton, as brothers, they would show flashbacks of them and their father.
Are we still talking about the second one?
No, the first. We're talking about the first one. I'm getting into. I'm basically what I'm saying is
I'm just trying to.
yeah.
Understand.
But you don't actually know that John Bernthal is his brother until towards the end, which I already knew he was his brother because of either promotion for the second one or just certain things. But I didn't realize through the movie that from the point of view of the characters that they were estranged for all these years.
It hits different. It hits different when you actually watch it live.
Yeah.
Than
So
just it getting spoiled.
Yeah.
So,
It was an interesting experience when I was like, I already knew that they were brothers, but they didn't. But I didn't know if, as the audience,
I think
if they didn't know.
Nah, because it was a big reveal.
Yeah.
So you don't realize that till the end. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically the first one is a very slow burn, and it's gotta hook you.
Mm-hmm.
So the second one, they were like, okay, let's up the ante, and I like that. I like that. You tweak it a little bit, just enough to be like, okay, we laid the foundation. Now it's time to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're doing here is trying. So I forget what his name is, but he basically meets up with this girl.
Ray King.
Well, I mean, his J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
So, he meets up with this girl who, basically trying to, get this one guy, like trying to assassinate.
Well, I thought she was trying to get away, but she is an assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, they were. I don't remember the point of the first part. But basically, Christian Wolff is trying to find this kid.
Yes, he's trying to find a kid. Separated, or whose parents were they killed or were they just separated?
A little bit both.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's trying to find this kid, and basically calls up his brother to kind of help him out, and they kind of start bonding, pretty much. And that's pretty much the gist of it. What'd you like about this movie?
Yeah, so I liked.
I thought yes, this was. I feel like I like this one better, mostly because of the action, and also you get more with Bernthal and Ben Affleck.
Right. I was gonna say the same. I like the dynamic between them.
I mean, there's even one, and we're not getting the spoilers, but there's one bar scene.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is good. There's another scene where it's kind of like he's in a dating thing, which I thought was weird, but it does kind of explain his.
It was weird, but it was a setup because I was wondering like why is he in this, and then it was like because he was basically figuring out this whole system that the dating service has in place and how he basically rigged the system in his favor, and it shows just like how methodical and
that's right.
Yeah. So it all plays into the fact that
I feel like Ben Affleck plays his character so good, and I get he's not everybody's favorite Batman. Okay, fine. He's an underrated actor.
He is. I would agree.
I feel like he's in some bangers.
Yeah, he's in a lot of good movies. I think people look at him for more of they think of him first for like his public persona. I think rather than just him as an actor, like the movies he's in, and then it's like, oh, when you actually look at the movies, he's actually in a lot of like really good stuff. Yeah. He does a good job for the most part, even if there are some movies that aren't great. But I think when I think of him, most of the time I think of pretty good movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then just to bring up John Bernthal, who plays this little brother so well, even though he's an adult. There are certain parts of John Bernthal's character, that Braxton,
yeah,
that it's just hilarious. It's just like, wow. It's like, how can you be? It's just crazy. Just the humor placed is golden.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely has that little brother energy that's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just mess with you just because I want attention. And the fact that, like, which this is also kind of sad, but there's one part, or like at least a couple parts, where he talks about the fact that he hasn't called him in like years, basically 7 or 8 years, however much time that passed between the first movie and then this.
And he was supposed to call him in a week.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like, dang, they ain't seen each other once since then. But then on the same end, well, I don't know. Did I'm sure Brax probably called him at some point.
I don't remember, but I think he was just waiting on the call.
Yeah.
But you gotta realize, not only is he autistic, you gotta think of like in that kind of, you already don't like speaking, so just speaking to your like somebody on the phone is just kind of like, what do I have to say? You're kind of overthinking the situation, like, so you're kind of one trained, you're one minded type deal, to where that's why he didn't think it was that much a problem, because he needed something, so it's like, but for a normal person like him, it's like, dude, you just call me just because you need something. But it gives them time to kind of bond throughout this whole movie, to where they go to a bar and have some fun, and they also, kind of work together in certain situations. So I feel like they did well.
They did.
There was one of my favorite scenes, which I don't think you liked. You were talking about, but there's a scene where I guess they're using some kind of autistic kids to try to find these, like,
so they were hacking into the cameras
to
see the identity of the girl who took a picture, so that they could get the face of the woman from the scene where, spoiler alert, an important character was killed. So and that kind of set off the train of events of the movie. But yeah, they needed to get to her phone so that they could see the picture of the face of that woman, and so they ended up hacking it, and they were doing all this stuff.
And it was like little kids. It was cool. It was cool.
I actually did enjoy the scene. It was just, it did stress me out, and then also the deputy director woman, she was like, "This is wrong. Y'all shouldn't be doing this." I'm like, I think that was also part that was stressful, because her saying all that while them also doing that at the same time, and it was just, it was.
Yeah, but here's the problem I had, and it's a little problem, but I didn't get the connection with the girl. Like I got the connection.
Yeah.
But there's the assassin girl. I just feel like, what was the point in investigating and trying to find her, and what did she have to do? Why was she with J.K. Simmons? It was, how did she fit into this kind of story? Like, I get it in the very end. It was kind of explained, but then there's still some other, I feel like, things that I didn't understand. Like,
I think
because you had Medina, like, kind of investigating her and trying to find her out, and I was like,
I think they used her as like the connecting point between the like the human the trafficking of the kids. So because she had this previous life, and then after the incident or her like they basically had to give her a new face, and then she unlocked these latent abilities, and she basically became a super soldier and super assassin. She basically became John Wick, um, and then like, oh yeah, now she's got all these. I'm like, and then she's like, oh, she's the connecting point between the her old life and then what's happening with these kids. So it's like,
okay, yeah.
But again, I did have a similar criticism because it just wasn't super clear,
Right.
and I don't know.
Right.
And this is also kind of going back to the first movie because it was like even there were certain things I wasn't super clear on with certain characters and their connections and motivations. Yeah. So I think that is something where I don't know if it's if they are intentionally like this, if they're just more so they want people to be more concerned with you connecting with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal, making sure that hey, at least you're on for the ride and hope everything is good. But I do think the plot details could be a little bit more clear for the audience.
And then with the kids, how did he know these kids? There's a lot of like hanging plot threads that I feel like I wouldn't even call them plot holes. They're just it's just more stuff that you could connect. So yeah. All in all, I thought this was a good movie from beginning to end. I think this was just another step better than the first one, but I still like the first one. So John Bernthal and I think Ben Affleck had great chemistry. I think the girl that played Medina did great. And then everything else, I think it was just done really well. The choreography, the fight scenes, and all that stuff. There was one scene with some kids at the very end that kind of made me nervous, but other than that,
that.
And they put the humor in right places to where, it really does like kind of. It blends the tension. It doesn't feel out of place, or it is out of place, but it's in. They do it so well that you don't really catch it. It still works.
Yeah, like when it's like super serious scenes, like they let that be serious, and then like you're actually concerned for the characters, and it's not like they're just gonna throw in a random joke.
Like they were on a bus after something traumatic happened, and then all of a sudden they start talking about a cat, and it's like what? Or like, it was just really, really done well. But what do you rate it?
Like a 3.5, 3.5 maybe.
Don't crap.
It's not bad. I think again if I could get the
4.5.
Ooh, that's high.
I like this.
That's good.
That's
good.
But
I think it was.
Saying,
I think it probably was a little stronger than the first. Again, I think they're pretty close. Again, I would need to like rewatch the first and really try to understand everything from the beginning.
Watch a video, YouTube video.
Yeah, but you can watch video recaps, but still, I feel like actually watching the movie, you can tell if certain things land in terms of the actual experience rather
That's
than
true.
like.
That's true.
Like I can still I can understand this explanation, but then it's like, well, I wasn't getting that from watching it, so it's like that may or may not raise my view. It really just depends, to be honest. Yeah.
But anywho. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely want to
That's our review.
Hear y'all's thoughts. I feel like it's kind of like his Jason Bourne in a sense.
Yeah.
That's for Damon. That's like Jason Bourne, and then for Ben Affleck, he's got The Accountant. So It'd be interesting.
Hey,
if
they're
they
connected too.
Yeah, they're best friends. But it'd be interesting if they made a third movie. What if they even brought?
I'm pretty sure they will if
Yeah.
this does well. So yeah, I'm definitely.
Let's get Matt Damon in one of these.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all we got to talk about. Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and we got more planned. So
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned, folks.
All right, man.
All right, y'all.
Take care.
Peace.